feels so lovely to be here tonight. What a beautiful art. Give yourself a round of applause. You're so lovely. Everyone so lovely. And while you're in the clapping mood, I'd like to give a big round of applause to my band.
Hello. And welcome to another episode of 30-something podcast. I'm your girl Drea. And we got Miss Miko.
Hey.
And Shay and Lisa. They are out today, but they will be back with us next week.
They're on a money-making mission.
Yes. And we don't ever not the hustle. But we do have with us our two special guests. We have Miss L. She is the founder and CEO of FCL Personal Financial Coaching. FCL stands for Forever Changing Lives.
Yes.
And she also is the creator of Girlfriend's Budget Blog.
Yes.
And we also have Miss Marie Simmons.
Hey.
This is my internet friend.
Yes.
I found her on social media. She's so awesome. But she's the CEO of Color Me Digital and co-founder of Sister Friends. Am I saying it right?
Yes,
Sister Friends.
Sister Friends.
Mm-hmm.
Sister Friends.
A lifestyle, personal consulting, and professional development network. And so we'll be interviewing them a little bit later. But also, per usual, we always want to give a shout out to Mr. Justin Rose and These Beats Ain't Free, the movement, and thank him for the wonderful beat that we are vibing to every Tuesday. We're going to jump into what now?
My favorite segment.
Yes, what now? Well, it's actually what I want to talk about is not what now. It's what happened on October the 1st. I meant to talk about this last week, but then I forgot or something. I don't know. But in DeSoto, there is a mother who sought help from the police, and instead she alleges that the police brutalized her family. Her name is Sammy Anderson, and she says she taught her 4 sons to, trust the police and always respect them. And they did the ride along program when they were younger. So they get into an altercation, the 4 boys. And one of them has a sledgehammer. Mom's like, oh, God, she didn't want anything to go awry. So she calls the police. Okay. Police shows up. Ultimately, everybody ends up on the ground. And her son... Well, Sammy, she said she was slammed onto the pavement, that she sprained her shoulder and her ankle. And I think
the mom?
Yeah, that she was slammed onto the pavement. And
she called the officers.
Mm-hmm. But one of the one of the sons was arrested, and he was also tased repeatedly. So,
do they tell you the ages of the...
They were in their 20s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were in their 20s. And the police chief, Joseph Acosta, says that he believes his officers didn't do anything wrong, and so they declined to release the footage at that time. Peter Johnson, I don't know if anybody knows Reverend Peter Johnson, but he's, pretty big in the community. And he says that the treatment of this family is very troubling. We're talking about brutality goes beyond skin pigmentation. It involves a lack of training to de-escalate crisis, as well as possible intimidation of a family.
Right.
So, how do y'all feel about it? I'll share my thoughts last.
Okay. You go, Marie.
I mean, I think that we continue to see a consistent pattern with the police dealing with almost anybody. And I think that we almost need to bring police brutality to a national level. It is a black issue, but it's a national issue. And anything that impacts any American is an American issue, period. Mm-hmm. And it needs to be addressed, period. We've seen massive African Americans being gunned down. There are also massive Native Americans gunned down in the previous years. So I think it's an issue that has to be addressed. But the concern is, it's like, who is going to address it? I think you guys also had some people on here, a police officer on here before, talking about the relations between the community and the police officers. A lot of times, too, the police officers are not from the community they're policing in. There's more of a fear thing. I believe police often are taught to shoot to kill. So there's so many pieces moving parts that have to be adjusted, but I think it's a national issue that just has to be addressed, but I think that it keeps getting passed off due to the fact that we put the victims we put them on trial. We go through their backgrounds and all the
Right.
stuff that they did. Never mind that to some degree, when you're in law enforcement, you should be held to a higher standard,
Right.
period. So I just think, but it's a continuous thing. So it's just like, same old thing.
Yeah.
I know it's a sad situation. I think that I kind of would like to know a little bit more about the situation, like what happened when the police actually arrived, like what took place for everybody to have to end up being on the ground and all of that, like especially if somebody had a sledgehammer. I don't know if he was still holding it or, you know, threatening somebody during the time. I don't know.
I think they had started arguing again while the police was there. And yeah.
With another group of
No, there
individuals?
was the brothers.
Oh, they were arguing
Yes.
amongst
The
brothers
themselves. Oh, okay, and then when the police arrived, that's the way he chose to
Right.
de-escalate.
And that's my point. So I say this, and you can't tell anybody how to handle a situation. I'm not calling the police until I feel like somebody getting ready to die.
Basically.
As a community, we have to decide what that call entails. When you pick up the phone to call 911, should it be that these people, you know, you're paying your taxes in order to fund the police department and they should be there to protect and serve? Totally. But that's not necessarily the nature of the climate that we're living in, right? And so we have white people calling the police on black people. We got white people calling the police on whales. I saw that was insane. The lady was out on the water and the whale came. She called 911 because it was what
She's like, I'm in their home, but
Yeah.
never mind the fact that I'm an intruder in your home. I need you to come. But what type of privilege is that? I'm going to call. I'm in your environment,
Right.
And I'm calling that just speaks volumes,
Right.
So you're like,
It does.
Right.
So we have that, but then also it's whenever you call the police to your home, that means that you have lost control of the situation. And when you invite another person in who has a pistol, who has a taser, who has a baton, please believe that one of those options will be exercised. Jason Harrison, back in 2015, I don't know if anybody remembers this, was gunned down by 2 police officers. He had schizophrenia and bipolar. Mom called, said that he was schizophrenic, bipolar. I need to get him to the hospital. They show up. He comes to the door. You can see the video. You can look it up. He has a screwdriver in his hand, and the police officer yells the first command for him to put it down. But within 5 seconds of him telling him to put it down, he guns him down and he kills him. And so, of course, the police were not indicted on any charges for that. But that's what I'm saying. When you call the police, you have to understand what type of decision you're making. And those boys should have known if mom says she's going to call the police, y'all need to sit y'all ass down. Like, it's too much going on. Like, we have to take some sort of personal responsibility for our actions, not necessarily what happens after the police gets there. But if you're going to pick up the phone and decide to call them, somebody could die.
Exactly.
True.
And that is kind of the thing when it comes to that. I think I had a relative call the police on another, like, no, you cannot do, well, they just upset. No, that is like, police, unfortunately, they should be like the last resort. And you almost have to say that because you don't know who's going to show up and how they're going to handle the situation. And it's sad, though, that this is the converation where you're like, I mean, call them, but don't call them.
Right.
Like,
Not until the very last
Why
minute.
are we calling the police?
Did anybody die? Okay,
Right.
don't call.
But did you die, though?
Yeah.
Did you die? But you didn't die.
Right. And it's really sad that that's like the nature of what's happening, but you have to accept that is our reality as people. Like, we're just pretty much at the mercy. Once you invite them into the situation, then it becomes their situation. They get to handle it however they see fit.
At
And you
that
just
point.
hope
True.
that you got an upstanding officer who isn't trigger happy, who isn't scared, who isn't afraid of black skin.
Exactly.
And that's what you hope for. But you shaking the dice when you call 911.
Yeah,
You
Yes.
have
the
to
ladder.
Exactly.
But like Marie said, that a lot of the officers that are patrolling in the neighborhoods that we live in don't necessarily look like us or have grown up in the same environment or under the same conditions that
Right.
we have. So they don't understand, and they're not able to communicate with us in a way that we can understand to even de-escalate
Right.
the situation, because sometimes they come in there way too
It's like
Aggressive.
aggressive.
Already.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
So
I
now
know.
we're on
Question for
defense.
you.
Yeah,
Where
the
are you
situation
going?
didn't
Right.
even call for all
What are you
that.
talking
Exactly.
I want to see
Yeah.
everybody's ID.
Yeah.
What?
Wait.
Yeah.
I said, I'm gonna go.
Even too, though, and even if, sometimes when they are our complexion, some of them think they know us.
Right.
And that's the issue where we remind them
Right,
of
and it's
somebody
like, oh,
or
I didn't-
something.
I've-
So,
I've
so
been
then
in this
too, they
situation
overcompensate
before.
for the fact, like, I'm not just going to.
True.
So it's like they're trying to prove a point, and even that turns into a negative situation. And that is kind
I
of.
cringe when I get pulled over by a woman police officer because I know she getting ready to flex all over me for no
Flex.
reason. Like
Exactly.
you pull me over, I'm finna get a ticket. I'm just be quiet.
I'm not giving out any passes to you because
No.
you look like me.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, I'm not your sister.
Right.
Like,
It's like, but sis,
like, but I'm sorry, and I didn't. This is a new car, and I was just testing. Like, I didn't realize it accelerated so quickly.
right. You say, well, you finna accelerate this ticket. But to move on from that, voter registration deadline is today. I hope
Please.
that y'all have registered to vote.
Please.
It is, Lord, we just really got to exercise our rights. Y'all have seen what the ramifications of not voting has done.
Yes.
A whole 2 years worth.
Of not voting. Now, I mean, did he lost the popular vote, but it had to do with like swing states and all that kind of stuff. It's like we just have to get out there and vote. And these are midterm elections, they're local elections. We got Beto on the ticket.
Yes.
We got to get Ted Cruz up out of here.
Unfortunately, though, this is the lowest turnout typically
Yeah.
for voters in general. So it is, and almost that is why it's so pressing. Like, we know you're going to stay home, so we need you not to stay home. Do you need a
Right.
ride?
Right.
Like, live,
Yes.
bus?
And I'm giving
Okay.
rides.
So I'm giving out rides.
I am giving out rides. So if you need a ride to the polls, just hit me up and I will escort you to. Please don't live in Fort Worth or nothing like that. Like I'm circulating in the Dallas Oak Cliff area.
Should create a network. So we're going to connect with somebody
Right.
that lives in Fort Worth that is willing to do this.
Right,
So
right,
that's
right.
what there's a
Yes,
network.
yes.
Like, create
There
one.
is someone.
Maybe we can
Fort
get a
Knox or
volunteer.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm definitely willing to take out, especially seniors, because our seniors, we forget about them. And they are a huge voting population. And even the ones that are in the nursing home, they vote. You know, they'll have mail-in ballots, but also in the senior apartments, senior centers, things like that, they vote. And so if the granny ain't got a ride, please take her. Or at least call me. I'll go take her.
As long as she's not in Fort Worth.
As long as she's not in Fort
already in Fort Worth.
Isn't this the time that we vote for the people that will hold like the House and the Senate?
Exactly.
Yes.
That's what we need
So-
to turn over.
Right,
Yes.
because even if we have a Republican president, when something tries to get passed in Congress, so what's
Veto.
And I don't want people
Yeah,
to
me
get...
I kind of know,
Right.
but
Yeah,
I
a
don't know
little
the
bit.
exact terms.
He's a
Jerry
very
knows all of
interesting
it.
man, so, like,
Help us understand how this election
Well,
affects
this
the-
election affects you in your neighborhood.
Okay.
So we have city council seat in District 4 that's up for election. Your city council, those are the people when you have a vacant house, you know, that's on the street that
be torn down.
somebody that needs to be torn down, or somebody, you know, has just moved into the property, or if you get a lot of abandoned cars or dogs running around in the neighborhood. These
Your
are
neighborhood is messed up.
right.
This is the time to vote.
These are
If
the
you
people
want
who are
someone-
closest to protecting your quality of life.
yes, local,
Directly.
Local
Yes.
politicians and
Right.
people, they really underestimate that. So everyone's always looking at who the president is, or
Yeah.
when that election really doesn't mean that much. That impacts a lot of foreign policies.
Right.
But it's your local election. That's the one
The
that's
whole
going to change your
Flint,
life. Those are the
Michigan.
people that have the power.
Right. That whole
Exactly.
Flint, Michigan situation. Everybody's like, oh, why doesn't the president intervene? I think he should. I think if you care about American people, you should care that they have, you know, decent water to drink, something like that. But that definitely falls into the hands of the locally elected
Election.
officials.
Absolutely.
And that's this voting.
Yes. So if I can
Time ran.
interject really quick, after the last election with the president, I was like, let me look this stuff. I need to look some stuff up and understand what's going on. So this is, as you guys say too, this is the most important election because when it comes to the presidency, that is based on electoral votes.
Right.
And the electoral votes come from whoever your state representative, your state representative is that will vote for the president for you. So people say, I've heard so many times, oh, my vote doesn't matter. Your vote definitely does matter, and it matters most right now.
Right.
So please go
And I
vote.
definitely try to not voter shame, but it is not beneath me. It's so dire, like for us to get out there in not just cast a vote just to be casting one, but be educated within your vote. Like understand, you know, the platforms that people like, the policies that they're pushing, and what they stand for. Like what are the reasons, like, why are you running? And there are a lot of people, I've talked to candidates before that were running for judge or whatever, and they're like, oh, we just need new blood. Oh, that's not good enough. I'm not voting for you just because we need new blood, because a seasoned vet sounds better to me than new blood if you don't know what you're talking about. Right. Right. Yes. Like, what is your platform? What are you wanting to do? Right. You know? And so we just have to make sure that we're being more educated as voters, as well as exercising our right at the same time.
Yes.
So I think that's all I'm going to talk about. I had this deal that I printed out, which I thought was really weird. I'll mention it briefly. The Texas Supreme Court will consider a challenge to the state's retroactive sex offender laws that some say unfairly stack new punishments on those convicted in plea deals. Listen to this. An Austin American Statesman analysis of Texas registry found that more than 2,800 sex offenders remain on the list despite being no longer required to register upon terms of their probation. So they're just keeping people on the sex offender list. I don't really know how I feel about this. I feel like if you shouldn't be on the list, then you shouldn't be on the list. Like, if you signed a deal that said I'm going to be a sex offender for 10 years and they keep you on there for 15, then, I mean, that is a violation of your rights.
Legally correct, but then it's the same. So let's
the other side of the coin.
Right. Emotions. No, please register forever for the rest of your life. That should follow you for the rest of your life.
But it depends on what it
That's
is,
a real
though.
consequence.
But let's say that, because
I went through a weird sex offender situations, and it's totally nuts.
I went through a weird period where I was looking up in my neighborhood everyone that was a sex offender in my neighborhood, my grandma's neighborhood, my mom's neighborhood, everyone's. And I started reading the cases, and a lot of them I saw were 18-year-olds that had a relationship with maybe a 16-year-old.
Right.
And I remember being in high school. I was 18. I mean, I was 16. I talked to 18-year-olds. I may have talked to a 19-year-old. And I wasn't being, assaulted or raped or anything like that. I was consenting to any type of activity.
I was with it.
Right. But a lot of those people get caught up in those type of situations. I think those are the times that when you say that, it's been 10 years. Okay, let them go.
And there's a Romeo Juliet law, and I don't want to misquote it, but I want to say it's something like a 3 to 4 year difference. Yeah, there's a 3-4 year age difference to where, like, the charge will escalate if you were to exceed that age difference. I mean, it's been incidents where I've seen where the guy met the girl at a bar where only 18 and ups were supposed to be there, and she wasn't supposed to be there, and so they ended up having consensual sex. Dad was like no, and she was 16, he was like 24, 25, and next thing you know, he's signing a deal, and now he's a sex offender. But
And that, unfortunately, that is like the negative trade-off. And it's such a touchy subject in that extent, too, because we are talking about someone losing their freedom or even their ability to, like, navigate the world or being that label of predator. And that is like the... But then too, there's those people that you need to know. Please be aware forever. Like, and they're
some
hardcore raping.
Yeah, and they're always thinking of ways to get like
the predators,
exactly,
the Kavanaughs of the world.
Yes, and that's like and going back to that's where it's like it is like a touchy subject across the board for victims and those who've actually been a victim of false accusations. And that's what even like I try to.
And then you have to depend on this shoddy justice system to try to split hairs with it. So
and that information is available because I looked up in my neighborhood and they'll even tell you where they're employed at. So there was a sex offender that was employed at a limousine company. So in my mind, I'm thinking there's homecoming, there's proms.
Right.
These are the times that he's taking children from home to proms. So I say look it up. I know probably everybody that lives around me.
Just be educated.
Look, she just be online. I mean, are you a predator? Right. Send me his name and email address.
If your kids have friends or that have uncles or cousins or whatever, like look these people up because you don't even know who they could be around.
Children can be so silent about things that happen.
Exactly.
Yes, they can. Yes,
almost
they can.
fear of them being as if they were wrong or they did something they weren't supposed to do.
Right.
So
and even adults, like when you get sexually assaulted, you absorb that blame.
Exactly. We do victim shame. We live in a country that does victim shame. Yes. Or then it's like, well, why didn't you how about I wanted to forget this moment or or going back to do we believe you? Like
we
waited so long.
Yes. Why did you? Well, because after I got past it, because too, that's a healing process.
Right.
You know, so it could take years, or it could take seeing someone else and having the courage, like, you know what?
Right.
I can say something. Like, I've been holding on to this long. Now I have the courage, and I don't really care who believes it or who doesn't.
For sure. So yeah, that is what now. Now we're gonna go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back, y'all.
We'll be right back. It's hot in here. I'm hot. No, I'm hot.
No, but it was a hot guy in there.
Not that kind of hot. We need Metro Men. For all of your air conditioning and heating services, please contact Metro Air Conditioning and Heating Services at 214-948-8888 or visit him on the web at metroacs.com. You can also find him on Facebook at Metro Air Conditioning and Heating Services. He's been in business since 1990, a member of the Better Business Bureau with a AAA rating. And he may not be hot, but he'll make sure that you're not. Now, where's that other guy?
Podcast. Hello, world. My name is William Allen Moore, Chief of Operations with Down Home Brewing, and you are watching 30-something Podcast.
And we're back. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and share the 30-something Podcast. Share it to your friends. Share it to the groups that Drea doesn't believe.
She just got all over me, y'all, because I do not like Facebook groups. Like
She doesn't like Facebook friends.
Segue to that's how you grow your business. It's Facebook.
Yes.
On
maybe,
Facebook,
but
it's
it gives
Facebook
me
groups, common
anxiety.
interests.
Why is that?
Because most of the groups,
Turn the
like, they don't
notifications
talk
off.
about whatever they say that they're talking about in the group. Like, it always like cascades into some BS, or somebody starts arguing, or it's just like a lot of stuff I don't want to see, that I don't care about. And so I guess,
But isn't that on Facebook also?
Period. I mean,
but
you
it's a
filter
lot.
that.
Is that right? And so combine it right with all these different groups, and
It's like
everybody's
all in one space. Yeah.
Like, I was in Keys to the Streets for like 3 hours. I was like, "Whoa, I'm done."
Like, this is
That's
too
it.
much. You're like, oh,
That's it.
I don't want these keys. You can have them back. Like,
I'm through. They solving all the crimes. No, I couldn't do it.
yeah, that is too. I have seen, but so that's when you do have to take a breather or check out.
Oh, yeah.
Or almost compartmentalize Facebook.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is what I use it for. Blah blah. And then I have another account where I only just do my business stuff from. That way, I don't have to see all the other crap. I'm like, yeah, log in. Let me go ahead and update this ad. Pay this one. Okay,
Maybe
I'm
I
out of
need
there.
to do that.
So you don't have to
Yeah.
see everything else.
Exactly. I'm just here.
But
for
if you're in
business.
the right groups, some of them are pretty good. They are.
I'm in a makeup group, I think.
Okay, that's
But
cool.
they
Yeah.
silent.
She like with the makeup. She like because I have a Safari addiction. She like I love makeup, so of
love
course I'm there
Sephora's.
for that. She's like,
Yes.
for that. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Well, we have Elle with us tonight.
Yes.
And we're so glad that you were able to join us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so we want to just...
Pretty.
What
Aw.
did you say?
She's so pretty.
Thank
She
you.
is.
So were
we
you
always
guys.
have such beautiful people on this show.
Aw.
Yes.
Are you inviting these people?
I am. I'm just going out and getting
It's
all the
beautiful
gorgeous
people.
people.
It's like, oh,
I
she's
just wanna-
cute. You should come on. We don't even hear Oh, you do stuff? That's a bonus.
Yes.
So you do stuff right.
Well, and it's also important because you don't want to give off that stigma that like you can't be about your business and be beautiful at
Exactly.
the same time. Like
Right.
you could be serving life and face. Like you
Right.
can do that.
At the same time.
Leave it to her to say, and face.
And face.
I brought both.
Yes.
Yes.
But tell us about your business.
So my business started out with FCL, Forever Changing Lives, where I was doing one-on-one coaching with people, just helping them money manage, because that is a real issue in not only our communities, but like around the world. People don't really know how to manage their money. It wasn't taught in their households. It's not taught in schools. So it's like, where do you learn that from? So coming from my background, my father was a banker.
Okay.
My mom was an accountant. So like money was talked about all the time in my house, like all the time. Like me and my sister, we got an allowance. They're like, okay, this is your allowance, but this much goes to savings, this much goes to this, you know, like, you gonna split this up. I know, like, that $15 went real quick. Like, you know, like,
$2 left.
yeah, exactly. And this is what you can spend your $2 on. So, yeah. So it was, I just grew up in that kind of structured financial structure, you know, in my household. So when I went to college, I started meeting people. You know, of course, my parents did help me out through college, you know, and I got some
Where'd you go
funding.
to school?
So I started out in Baylor University. I met a lot of great people there, and Baylor was so much fun for me. But it was so much fun that I was not going to class. So
I understand that.
yes, I was
came
like
back with a whole baby.
everybody.
Just having all the fun.
Actually, all the fun.
All the fun.
Everybody knew me at school. I mean, I was like, no, but my teachers didn't. You know, so that was the problem.
Everybody but the right people.
Yes, exactly. So I transferred to UT Dallas.
Okay.
So that was like a culture shock. It's like a whole different,
Right.
you know, scenario coming from Baylor to UT Dallas. But I loved it. I went there. I met some great people there as well. And it was there really that I started to realize that people didn't really know how to manage their money, you know, and I was like, oh, wow, like this is an issue. Yeah. So, and I was a little bit naive thinking other people knew what I knew. And so I was like, no.
Girl,
so,
no.
yes.
I was in college just swiping the credit card.
And that's
like they gave it to me. They wanted me to swipe.
I was like, well, sometimes I used to christen my card. So at that point, that means you have to buy something you don't need.
Right.
You're like, so that bottle
Christening.
Dior.
Just to keep.
Yeah, just like,
the
okay, my
balance.
new car came. Yeah, swipe.
Yes.
Christened, okay.
Yes. And
Maybe
then
we should go out to eat too. Like,
then you're paying back that christening
Right.
later in time, you know. So, but yeah, that's what happens. People get in college, they get these credit cards because the credit card companies know, especially young people don't know this stuff, and they're going to go spend this money. Oh, you got a $300 limit. That's free money. That's what they're thinking. No, that's not free money, you know. Like, so I started out almost like forcing my friends to come to my house for a budget presentation.
That was cool.
Yeah, and I'm like, we're gonna get some wine, we're gonna get some,
We're gonna make it fun.
Yeah, let's make it fun and sit down. We can be in our PJs. We can make this cool. But y'all gonna listen to this budget presentation. So we would talk about that, talk about money, talk about how you can organize your finances. And I really started to see that this was changing people's lives, and that's where FCL came from. But then I wanted to get it on a grander scale, you know, get it out there to more people. So that's when I created Girlfriend's Budget, made the blog, all of that. So yeah.
So y'all, I subscribed to her website.
Oh, thank
that
you.
She has. It is girlfriendsbudget.com. And when you subscribe, she gives you a free budget sheet. Y'all, this thing is so detailed. Like, I don't even want to fill this out.
She's all
like,
scared
she
to be
is counting
accountable.
What did she ask you? What do you?
Okay, so she's got household expenses, and it breaks down rent, mortgage, electric, water, gas, rental mortgage, insurance. But then it goes like, she want to know how much you spend when you eating out, groceries,
she's like, how
and
dare she?
Tidal, Apple Music, Netflix, Hulu,
Everything she
smoking,
wants to know
drinking,
where all your
club,
money.
coffee,
Yes.
coffee expenses,
Ooh.
gambling, gym membership, you know, all the way down to school expenses and all this stuff. You know, you can't nickel and dime yourself out of saving some real money. I remember when this is when I made the least amount of money ever. I was working at the mall. I was spending money at Starbucks like $10 a day. What? I cannot force myself to spend $10 a day on coffee now, and I'm making way more money than I was then. But it's like I just
Back
was
then,
drinking
you
off
didn't-
Louis bag money on coffee.
She lived mind you Louis bag. It
On
wasn't
and
savings.
was
She said
complaining
Louis
about-
bag money. She's like, 'cause that's I save
And-
for stuff.
and
But I
Mac.
was complaining about like, oh, I don't make enough to go on vacation.
Exactly.
I totally did
You
make enough.
totally
I just
do.
tricked it off on coffee.
like
Exactly.
coffee.
Yeah,
That's the mindset.
crazy.
That's the mentality that people have. You know, they stop at the Starbucks every morning, or they go out with their coworkers for lunch every day, or they're getting a dinner through drive-through or happy hours or whatever, and all that
And
stuff.
Uber Eats is so expensive.
Oh yes, it adds up.
Bro,
It
yes,
adds up.
It does.
What is one of the main things that you see in families or individuals that they miss in their budget that doesn't allow them to, you know, reach financial success?
It's all of that. All of that that's on that sheet it's that. Because people sometimes, most of the time, people will keep up with their rent and their mortgage and the big bills, the electricity. They don't want their cable turned off, even though that may not be a necessity, like stuff like that. But when it comes to the smaller things,
girl,
that's when the shit starts to
be like, where did the money go?
Sometimes that's that accountability. You ever seen, you look at your statement, like, or Starbucks, you know how they have the rewards. One time I seen, like, I was a rewards member to, like, I want to say year 21. And then it kind of makes you think, and then it's like, I'm buying coffee so I can get free coffee.
Right, which
and
is
it's
nice.
just like, when you sit there and you think, like, what the hell am I doing?
Like, how much is this investment to get free coffee?
Like $70 a week.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
You're like, so now I got a free cup that was
$70.
But you got to max out on that free cup, though.
Right.
You got to, like, no, I want a quad. Like, I want 12 shots of espresso.
I'm going to be real extra.
I'm about to die.
You mentioned you have a video that's like the 5 things that people can immediately cut out. And can you talk about that?
Yeah. So let's say cut out unused subscriptions, like unused subscriptions and memberships. At the beginning of the year, usually they'll sign up for
Ipsy.
Your what?
Ipsy.
Okay, yeah, that. Or they'll sign up for gym memberships. At the beginning of the year, people are like, oh, I'm going to go work out. I'm going to, And then you're paying that 20, 30, however much a month, and you're not even going. When really you can work out for free. Go outside. Walk around the block. You do some push-ups in the garage, something like that. But you don't need to pay that much money to go, especially if you don't have it, if you can't afford it. Another thing to cut out, eating out. People eat out so much, and that's the biggest money pit right there, is eating out, because it's convenient. People want to stop. I don't have time to cook. I don't want But if you take time to prep yourself, prep yourself for the week. What am I going to eat this week? You got to eat. Everybody got to eat. So what am I going to eat this week? This is what I'm going to have for breakfast. I'm going to make this for dinner. I'm going to take this for lunch the next day after I make this for dinner. Make it work for you. Those are the kind of things that you have to think about. Let me see what else. I'm trying to remember the video in my head. Let's see.
Eating out.
Yeah, eating out.
Like,
unused gym and memberships. Yeah. If you're drinking or smoking, just like the little things, the gambling, the clubbing, the getting your hair done every week when maybe you need to just get it done once a month, or maybe you just need to rock your natural. Yeah.
And then I just put my wigs on.
Yes.
That saved me so much money when I stopped relaxing my hair.
Yes.
It saved me time and money.
Yeah.
And I used to be like the weave queen. I was like, ooh, I need the
so expensive
girl.
bundles.
I was like, no, I need that
stop getting your bundles. You all keep rocking your bundles if y'all need them.
Yes,
I bought some
not
hair.
in our budget.
It's nothing wrong with. There's nothing wrong with rocking bundles if you can afford it.
Now I feel like
But
when I
some of these
purchased
bundles
a
will last a
wig,
year.
They do. So
they do.
That's how I
You
would
can watch them
justify
and
it
use them.
too. I was like, well, it's $500, but I'm making it last for
$500.
No, they do get expensive.
That mine was Peruvian. I was like, I want to
Indian
feel like I'm
body
from
weight.
Peru. Yeah.
That's crazy. So I invested in human hair wigs, but it's like, okay, I can put this on the shelf and I can, you wash it. It means a head of hair.
Yes.
And so like you wash it and put it. I can justify that more than me like buying weave, because I'll just probably throw that in a drawer somewhere eventually, and then it won't probably see the light of day.
These days, I'm loving the beauty supply wigs though. They have come up.
And I got my red ones from the beauty supply.
Ooh,
Girl,
that was
cute.
They have come up.
She was on the run.
I was.
But how about I like how Elle, like she said, she almost changed in your life. Because think about it, if you actually have to start planning what you're going to eat throughout the week, that makes you so much more conscious. A lot of things are about structure. And once you kind of create that,
and you'll start eating better.
Habits,
yes.
We're like, look at her, like really changing lives. She's like, no, it's not,
Yes,
not your
it's-
money. I'm going to touch everything.
Exactly.
And you're going to feel better
it's
too.
all about. It's a lifestyle. That's why I call Girlfriend's Budget a lifestyle blog, because it's not just about the budgeting and getting your money together. That's important, but it's your whole lifestyle, because everything that you do literally costs money. These mics, this table, what we're wearing, everything costs money.
Right.
So you got to think about that. Be aware of it.
Yeah, that nickel and diamond is.
Being that you've always been in an environment that was focused on budgeting, have you ever ran into a time where you lost control of your budget, or you?
Yeah, there's been times where I've overspent, I'm like, I've gotten a little too out of control, overzealous. It happened in my younger years mostly, because I'm like wanting to hang out with my friends and do things, but you're not making that kind of money, you know, when you're younger. I remember a time in particular, actually, I told you guys my parents were helping me out some during college, and they would give me like it was like a monthly stipend, you know. They were like, this is what you get, manage it, you know.
30 days.
Yeah. And so one time in particular, I totally forgot to pay one of my bills. I think it was like the electricity bill or something like that, and I already spent that on like my nails or something like that. And I was like, oh shoot, I went to my mom. I was like, oh shoot, Mom, I totally, you know, effed up, you know. I was like, you know, I think I spent the money for electricity. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And she's like, I don't know what you're gonna do either.
Figure it out.
Oh, she left you out there.
Yes.
Sometimes you need that.
Them consequences.
She was like, figure it out.
You sit in the dark long enough.
like,
oh,
figure it out.
Never happen again.
That to me was such an eye opener. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna do that no more, you know, because my mom made it a point to, even though they had the money to help me out, but they were like, no, you got to learn this lesson, you know, because there's not always going to be someone there to bail you out. Yeah.
I mean, that's a really good lesson.
Yeah.
Like I said before with my daughter, we have sat down and like literally pulled out bills and was like, hey, you know, you don't understand that once you leave the nest, like you're subscribing to all of this. Like this is how much a mortgage is. This is how much a light bill is. Every time you leave that light on in your room while we're gone, this causes the light bill to go up.
Yes.
This is when you take them long ass showers. This makes the water bill go up. Like all of that, we break it down to her so she understands. She knows how to write a check, which is a lost art. Like nobody knows how to write a check.
Yes,
Nobody
I
writes
know.
checks really.
They do, depending on, because our city water only takes checks.
Zealous. Like, well, get paid on Wednesday and the sale is today. I was like, well, I can write the check on Monday, and it should clear like by Tuesday. I should be good. Like I spent the money before I got it.
We do that though, or I spend it in my head.
That's another thing I'm sure you probably teach to not
spend money in my
Do
head.
not spend money you don't already have. But going back real quick to you talking about your daughter, I tell parents all the time, teach your kids now about money management. And that's good that you guys talk to her about that, because kids don't know. They get out in the world and then they're like, I don't know.
Damn,
you know,
electricity.
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm not saying put your kids in all your financial business. That's not what I'm saying. But at least help them understand the concept of money comes in, but money goes out in order to pay for your living expenses,
and not just for your wants.
Yes,
also
for your
the
needs
that you need.
I was just having a conversation with her about like gas in the car. Like that's an actual expense. It's not just like, oh, we need gas, let's stop and pay some phantom price for gas to put the car and drive
Pull
around.
some money out of there.
It's like, no, this is a weekly thing, sister.
Yes.
And every time you want to go somewhere and do something,
It costs.
you making a needle move. So we gotta, I mean, everything costs money.
Like my daughter, she's so cheap. Like she's on it where she's like, I know who to ask to go places with, and she'll have a pocket full of money and she'll leave it in the car. She's like,
Conveniently.
in the car.
My daughter does that
She
too.
even like text me from a movie. He's like, can you give me back $7? I'm like, for what? I was like, why don't you? Well, no, I'm saving that money, but I want to have ice cream, and I don't really want to use my money.
How bad do you want that ice cream?
Just like,
I told my niece
give me the
the same
$7
thing.
because if I wasn't, she wasn't going to get it though. She was just like, well, if you're not keeping it
And you
back,
gave her,
I don't even really.
and you
want
gave her
ice
the
cream.
$7.
Yes, she gave her the $7.
I see Marie online giving in to them kids left and right. I'm like, Lord have mercy. Them kids got her whoops. It is so cute. It is so cute. My daughter knows, don't even do that. Don't try me. Don't try me.
So
But,
do you
yeah.
do classes or training?
So I have a group on Facebook. I know you don't like them.
I saw it.
Yeah, so I have a group on Facebook where it's like group coaching. So every week we talk about different topics. I do live Talk to Me Tuesday sessions.
Okay.
At 8:00, which is
What's the name of the
same thing.
group?
It's called Girlfriend's Budget. So
Girlfriend's Budget
same
on
thing.
Facebook.
Yeah, Girlfriend's Budget on the group. It's a $15 membership fee, one-time fee, and that's only because like this information that you're getting is so valuable. Like it's invaluable, really. And $15 is, you spend that on Starbucks, you spend that on lunch, you know. But if you really want to change your financial life, then you will pay the $15
What
to get
type
this
of information?
We talk about everything. We talk about budgeting. We talk about debt reduction. We talk about credit. We talk about savings. We talk about just lifestyle stuff, shopping, on a budget, makeup on a budget, hair.
You're giving tips.
Yes,
So
traveling on a budget, everything.
Let me ask you this real quick. So when it comes down to having bank accounts, is there such thing as having like too many bank accounts? Like, should you just have a checking and maybe like a short term and a long term savings, or should you get, you know, like CDs, or, you know, what's a good way to store your money?
For beginner budgeters, I always say to have at least 3 accounts.
Okay.
And the way you break those accounts down is you have a bill pay account, you have a spending account, and you have a savings account. So
Yes.
each one of those, so your bill pay, if you have your budget, I always recommend a spreadsheet. And when you get your membership to the group, you get a spreadsheet, like it's a downloadable spreadsheet with a guide that comes along with it step by step to help you do your budget, put it all together. So once you have your expenses all laid out, that money for your bills all of it goes into your bill pay account. That way you're paying bills solely from that account, because you know when you pay bills, it doesn't always come out right away. You know,
I did the right thing.
Yes.
I did.
I'm so bad with money.
I just
like
try to
I'm
pay my bills
I'm
first.
with
Like, then I wait
somebody,
for everything.
But
Like,
I have
the
a
rest of the time-
spouse, so we have a bill pay account.
Yes.
And then I have a spending account.
Yes.
And then he has a
Yes,
spending account.
perfect. That's exactly what it, what
I'm
it
so
should
bad.
be
Like he's like, we had this conversation where he's like, well, we need to come, you know, sit down and have another conversation about budgeting and this and that. Like, he just literally told me this the other day, and it just, I was vexed. I was like, I don't want to talk about this. Like, can I just give you the budget? You just do what you need to do. And he's like, no, because we need to, you know, plan out what we're going to do. You know, our
Yes.
next move, if we're going to invest in something, like
Exactly.
anything like that. And I'm like, oh, I just hate
Yes.
talking about money. I love
She's like,
spending
now I
it.
have to be accountable.
Yeah, I love
don't know
spending
how I
it,
feel
but
about
I
this
don't wanna talk
accountability
You make it, I spend it.
conversation.
But talking about it makes it so much easier, and it's
Yeah.
like
True.
so much more stress free when you're actually being open and communicating
Right.
with
Your
your
spouse.
partner, and even just being real with yourself.
Yeah,
if you're
yeah, yeah.
single, you know, just be real with yourself. Like, I need to better manage my money, because it really comes down to, a lot of it comes down to self love too. Because
Right.
as you get older, you want to set yourself up in a position to do well, be well financially, you know, and not have to
what
be
happens when
worrying
it
about
comes on
living
1%.
paycheck to paycheck when you're 50 years old. You know, you
Do
want to
better.
have some savings set aside. Yeah.
Yeah, so that, I mean, that's super important, and I need to do better. I'm going to pay the $15, and I'm going to
Thank
get the
you.
spreadsheet.
Thank you.
And I'm going to support, because y'all, I'm so big about supporting Black business and
Yes.
supporting, you know, people who you will in turn do something to help you in, you know, in exchange. And so this is going to help me.
I'm so happy.
I just want him to know that I'm doing this.
Yes.
Me as well.
This
And all
is
of
my
our
part.
30-something podcasters should sign up.
Yes,
as well.
And you get a free consultation with me. So if you have questions about the guide, if you're trying to understand maybe your personal situation, since it is group coaching,
Right.
you at least get that one-on-one 30 minutes with me, so we can talk about your personal situation.
And can
Gonna
you
help
tell
you
us
get your
about
money
your
right.
Get your
your
life.
website and how people can find you?
Yeah, so the website is www.girlfriendsbudget.com. You can find me on YouTube. Plenty of free resources on YouTube, on Pinterest, on IG. I'm literally everywhere.
All the social
LinkedIn.
platforms.
Like, you can just Google Girlfriends Budget, and I promise you I will pop up.
Cool.
Yes. We're going to go to our... well, I put together a nice video of all of the guests that we've had on our show over the time that we've been started since March. It's been a while, so we're going to play a little video. It's our Views of Fame. And we just want to highlight all the people that we've had on this next break. And we'll see you all after the break. With Marie.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the biggest gift would be for me, and the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend.
Right. So thank you to anyone who has ever been a guest on our show. And that was just like a little bit of love that we wanted to show to our guests and our viewers, because our guests are also our viewers.
They are.
And we love y'all so very much. So now we're going to move to Marie.
Hi.
Miss Marie
Hey,
Simmons,
Marie.
sister friend. So Marie is CEO of Color Me Digital and co-founder of Sister Friends Network. Marie, when did we become Facebook friends?
We became Facebook friends when we were a part of kind of loosely working with that organization out in Fort Worth.
Oh,
doing
yeah.
outreach.
Oh, yeah.
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 So leave it at that.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we met because we were supposed to meet. Everything happens for a reason, right? And so sometimes you have to find the conduit that's going to get you where you need to go. And so that's exactly what happened. So Marie and also a couple of other people, like 2 other people that were in that particular organization. Like we're still in touch, and just some amazing Black people that are doing like amazing things. So tell us first about Color Me Digital, and then we'll talk about Sister Friends.
Okay, so with Color Me Digital, to be honest, it's kind of something I got pulled into. I have been in marketing I'm doing marketing for Ford and Lincoln for like 6 years. That's not my favorite thing. I love consulting. I love working with people. So that is my niche. The other part, however, that is an in-demand industry. And the funny part is I always have people come to me about books. So I actually was working on a book subscription program. It was going to be like personal and professional development, empowerment, which segues into Sister Friends. And then I was talking to this woman. She owned her own business. She was just like, but you do digital marketing. I'm like,
Right.
but I don't want to do that. She's like, but you do digital marketing. I'm like, but I don't want to do that. So she's like, but that's an in-demand field. It's a niche.
Right.
People, this is where the money is at, and there's no overhead. So mind you, I'm still stubborn. So it took me a year to kind of grasp that I wasn't going to have a book subscription service in a bookstore.
Right.
So I was just like, what do you mean? You mean I have to do this? I've been doing that. I don't really want to do this.
Even though you're good at it.
Yeah. So, however, it started really with my friends. They started their businesses. And so everyone would come to me, so I would be helping them for free. So I was working for free. Doing graphics, helping them with
That's how it
putting
starts.
stuff together. Yeah, we're just doing a lot of free work and just overwhelmed with all the free work.
Right.
It's just like at a certain point I have bills to pay too. And matter of fact, I talked to one of my girlfriends. She has Sold by the Pound, and she was talking to me one day, and she was just like, at a certain point, you see these bills. She was like, either they can afford you or they can't.
Right.
And it was kind of like, it took it from there, like, you know what, let me just go ahead and do this. And so that's kind of how it started. And I particularly work with a lot of Black entrepreneurs. That's my thing. I do small businesses and startups. And then even just consulting, like, well, what do you have going on? Okay, well, you need to get this in order, get that in order. You need to fix that. Why aren't you doing that kind of thing? And so it kind of, I've been doing a lot more, I get more traction these past couple of months. I launched officially, and I want to say it was May. But going back to, I was working for free, and actually the first person that paid me was my friend, and I didn't want to take them. And she's like, no, you've done this, this, and this.
Right.
Take the money. I'm like,
Right.
okay. I'm like, yeah, okay, I just feel
We
weird.
are like that sometimes.
Yeah, because I don't know. It's like, those are your friends, so you want to help them too, right? And then it's like, I also need to live. I have kids that, need stuff,
Right.
a lot of stuff. So it's like, well, I guess it is time to start charging you guys.
Right.
And so more or less I've been picking up lots of clients with that. And so it is something I enjoy doing. However, too, I am actually looking to get some team members in place because I'm a high level person. I'm not really, I'm like, I don't want to, no.
All the interaction.
Like, I can build a website, but I don't want to.
Right.
I can do advertising, but I don't want to.
I built a website one time, and that was like the most stressful thing I've ever done in my life.
So explain to us exactly because everybody is not going to know what digital marketing entails.
So digital marketing has like multiple channels. Digital marketing is like your website. Digital marketing is pay-per-click, like the ads you see when you type in something on Google or Bing. You see those paid ads that come up. Those are PPC. They usually pay using certain keywords. Those ads populate, and once you click them, the organization, they're charged a fee, and it takes you to their website. So social media is a great platform or tool for entrepreneurs. It's typically free. You can advertise on social media. You can pay for the ads, which is pretty inexpensive. They also have a certification program, too, that's free. So you can get
I did not
certified
know
for
that.
Facebook. Even AdWords, Google AdWords, all that stuff. A lot of that stuff is free. Or you might just pay for a premium version of Google, and then they'll give you access to those tools to teach you how to market on there. And with my company, that's a requirement. Anyways, the company I was working for prior to. So it's like I got all that game for free.
Yeah.
However, so it's like Facebook, like we were talking about groups, Facebook groups, that's actually the best place to market because those are people that are looking for the things that you either
Specifically.
Particular,
yeah,
right.
so it's more particular, and that's a good way to grow your brand there. With Instagram, hashtags, that's how people find you, using the appropriate hashtags, not making up hashtags. And I say that because I want people to know it's cute to make things bold and everything.
Right.
But unless it's your campaign, your business name, don't create hashtags.
Or popular.
Yeah, you use something that you know people are already following, like Black Excellence. A lot of Black people follow, and we love shopping with each other. So there's certain hashtags depending on what your industry is. You want to use appropriate ones.
That hashtag Buy Black is really big too.
Yes, that too. And even they have a Instagram page as well. So keeping those things in mind, that's a great place to market. Going back to, and even you have your website that is considered a form of digital marketing as well. And that's going to be that's your platform. That's where you're merchandising from, so people see you. That's your face. And going back to, you want to make it easy for the consumer to do whatever it is they came to your site to do. So digital marketing it's better than print. It's better than radio. You can adjust it. You have analytics, so you can run 2 campaigns. Sometimes you don't know what's going to work. You don't know what people are going to respond to because humans are weird. You're like, you guys like that episode?
Right.
So that being said, you can run 2 campaigns. Look at the analytics. Look what they respond to. Then okay, we're going to go ahead and stop this one, and we'll keep doing this one moving forward. So it's agile. You can constantly change it. And going back to, you can also see the traffic. You don't know how many people drove past the billboard. You have an idea. Do you know if they've seen it or not?
Right.
There's no way to measure that. There's no way to measure, unless you're dealing with Nielsen, there's no way to measure your commercials.
Right.
There's no way to measure the newspaper ad in theory. So this is actually the easiest and the quickest way to measure it,
you can
be able
track
to see
it.
like what would make you successful as an organization. And small businesses need it the most.
Yeah.
So you're really an asset for a small business, someone that's trying to grow their business. And marketing, I took marketing in school. Marketing is just making your business make money. How are you gonna turn your business into money? So that's what you do digitally.
Yes.
I have a question about that because I'm always on the internet trying to figure out how to promote, even with 30-something podcasts. And I have seen that Facebook seems to be slowing down. Would you agree with this? And Instagram is more.
Facebook, for one, LinkedIn, Instagram are the fastest growing platforms, period.
LinkedIn,
right?
Instagram.
However, Facebook, they've moved to more, they prefer paid ads. Because they're tired of, they're not going to just keep serving yourself up for $3.
Right.
So
and they'll
Facebook,
switch
you're more
the
successful.
algorithms.
Yeah, you're more successful with the paid ads. And I like the fact that since Facebook owns Instagram, those ads also populate on IG for you as well. But Instagram is where everyone's at. Instagram, YouTube too. 80% of the internet is on YouTube, right?
Okay.
So
Right.
going back to, that's why it's a multi-channel advertising campaign. You want to be everywhere that the consumers are or your potential clients. But IG, it is the millennials, and then what's the generation after them, they're big on that. Even my daughter doesn't. She's like, who's on Facebook? Like,
Right.
Like,
My niece was
there?
talking so much trash. She was like, seriously, Facebook?
And even too, they're
like
kind of
that.
like snobby too, because even my daughter, they do these competitions to see who can use social media and all that stuff the least, which is kind of frustrating for me because I'm kind of insulted. Like, first of all, that's how I paid for your phone bill,
Right.
y'all?
Right.
You need to do a challenge on who can use the most.
Okay, that's what I need to see. Who click the ad, please. Click the ad. But so LinkedIn is really great. People underestimate LinkedIn. LinkedIn, you can have a business page and a personal page. LinkedIn is a great way for people to just learn who your business is, what you represent. You can be authentic, whether you're sharing posts, articles, etc. That's where you can link up with other businesses to help, again, get your brand out there. It's brand awareness.
And speaking about networking, can you kind of like segue into Sister Friends?
Ooh, Sister Friends. So Sister Friends, segue into Sister Friends, which is like the real, I'm like, that's the real thing. No. Like, I'm just doing this to pay the bills. But sister friends, I want to say over the past couple of years, I reconnected with some girlfriends I went to school with. I grew up in Chicago, or Evanston. Let me say that. I grew up in Evanston because they like to make that very clear. However, we hadn't connected in years. Everyone's like in a different scope professionally. Someone's like a director of HR. I, at the time, was like a senior consultant for my company. But everyone kind of had a thing, and we kind of started to like rely on each other. So I was like, we would send each other gifts, books, this, that. And two, that's how I kind of became the person like, well, what book should we read now?
Right.
What's that going to be about? But Sister Friends, it kind of turned into like, it grew. It was like my girlfriend Keisha, my other girlfriend Leonetta. We kind of got so close where we just started empowering each other. Started out with a group text. And then the group text kind of took on a life of its own. Then there's men out there referring to women as sister friends.
Sister friends.
So it's kind of like, okay. But we more or less, we consider like a success game. And we like to, the whole point is to bring women in from all backgrounds, because even to be successful, it's a holistic thing. It's everything. It's going back to even with the money management. It's mental health.
Right.
It's kind of just helping each other thrive, being each other's support system. And we don't get to do that often. And it's something where initially I was kind of like, well, how are we going to push this to people? Are we going to do a membership? And at first we were leery, like, we don't want to charge anyone. But then you're a business too, so you have to operate. Okay, so right now we're in the transition of putting that looks like together. We were talking about, we plan on doing like 4 events, so quarterly events, luncheons, etc. But it's more about promoting empowerment, helping each other with their businesses. Again, mental health, financial stability. Anything that would change your life or make your life better, that's something we want to be a part of. And I think that...
So it's just like a resource.
Yeah, it's a resource.
That you can subscribe to have that network there for you.
How many people do you have right now in your network?
So right now, we had a group and we kind of closed it off because we also have to engage them.
Right.
So we have a good 200 plus people. We're running our I Am campaign. We did feature Drea on one of them as well. We had Lena Waithe on one of them. We still have some more. We're going to go back through that. Our big thing is we want to we try to pick a theme and then we want to run with it. So right now was the I Am. We do want to, in the next coming quarter, we want to focus on mental health. It's a big thing. It's something we don't talk about enough. And even to balance, like creating that work-life balance. It's like we're all so career-driven, but it's like we're going so hard that we're not taking the time for ourselves, that self-care. And so that's like our next focal point.
Cool.
That's awesome. I think that having a group of ladies or men around you that serve as like accountability partners, as friends, even I don't have a large network, but even with the ladies that I'm in the podcast with, just being around them and having that conversation daily.
Just to know it's not just you falling the hell apart today.
Exactly.
It's like, okay.
It's motivating.
40 quarters is better than 10 dimes. So let's put that out there now. So I'd rather have a small amount of people that I'm close with that are solid as opposed to a bunch of people.
And everybody has those moments where they kind of dial back or they kind of take a break. I know that Drea is the person for me who's always like, okay, Kamiko, I took Monday off. It's Tuesday now, baby. Get it together. And she'll say it in a way that I found a friend. We speak the same language, so it's good. And
it's
I know
invaluable though too.
It is
really, and it's like too. I don't get those people that know new friends, and I need to grow. So, and I wanted you to say that
I was singing that song and I stopped because I was like, this doesn't make sense.
As you you walk into your purpose or you step into who you are, like the universe or whatever you believe in. They're sending people your way that are going to help you get there.
For whatever reason.
Exactly. And so it's almost like you have to cross paths. Because even too, I feel like I love my old friends. And I'm still friends with people I was friends with when I was 6. They're still my best friend, right? But there's people I met right now and they my best friend. One, you're not going to be my friend if you're not solid. So they're all we're all close. But that being said, the people that are my friends now, the people that I'm meeting, they're more in line with where I'm going.
Right.
And my purpose. And they're feeding it. They're pouring into me.
That's a different kind of friend. Like sometimes you can have... people that are friends. You can have close friends. You can have people that you literally have soul ties with.
Exactly.
And those are those people who will be there at any point in your life. Like they can be gifted to you at any point in your life, and they are just there to walk with you and help you get to your purpose in life and to get to that destination. And so we just have to just be spiritually aware and be able to spiritually
don't block
recognize.
your blessings.
Yes.
Right.
It's always good to be have discernment.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, you pay attention to people's habits, pay attention to what they say. Are they talking about other people? Or are they
I'm
talking
so
about,
big, like
you know?
Miko, like she knows. I'm so insane when it comes to energy. Like when somebody
Yes.
comes around me, like instantly, if the energy is bad, I will shut down. Like if I feel like we have a relationship, and there's some sort of energy where there was some sort of like discontentment, I'm gonna address it because we finna get rid of this energy between us. It needs to be resolved, and that way we're able to move on. And if you don't want to, then that's fine. But it's not gonna be because I didn't reach
I didn't do my
that
part.
olive
Yes, I'm going to do
branch.
my part because
Right.
I'm going to own that.
You're not gonna leave the gray mist. in
But we are
between
down
us.
to what are we down to? Like just a couple minutes,
Oh.
and we have.
But I want her to tell everybody how
do we get a hold of you?
You can find me on sisterfriends.com, Color Me Digital. I'm also on IG, both of my page. Look, of course, I'm a little bit of everywhere. You can check out Marie Simmons too. I am kind of be launching a new brand soon as well.
So be on
We'll
the
have you
lookout.
back on the show.
Yes.
So what I'll do is, we got bad about not putting people's page on our page, but I'm definitely going to.
I'll talk with you about that.
Yes, and
I need to do
I'll
that.
start
I'm like,
linking
you need to do more
everybody's
better.
page on our page, our guests, and so that way you can get a hold of our guests, and if you want to, take part in whatever they're doing, then you definitely have that as a resource to do so. Miko.
So I wanted to make an announcement about a generous donation that one of our guests and our fans, our followers, who
family.
watch his family. We're not even call him a fan.
That's family.
But he's been on the show, him and his wife, the Williamses, and they made a generous donation to the podcast. We have been doing this since March. And
Out of our pockets.
Out of our pockets. So we basically pay dues each month and we make it happen. But Zelton and Glynice Williams, Cat, they came and they said, we really appreciate and respect what you all
Right,
are
and they want us
doing.
to keep going,
And they want us to keep going. So they said, we're going to pay for a month of your podcast
That's
dues.
amazing.
And he just made the contribution, and he doesn't, we offer sponsorships and
ads and everything. He was like, I don't want to advertise,
And he doesn't have
I just
anything
want to
he wants
support
to-
your dream.
Wow.
So I wanted to, I put a picture up, but I just wanted to recognize them and say thank you. We really, really appreciate you all. You all are family. You're welcome anywhere we are.
For sure.
And, I just wanted to make that announcement and say that we have somebody that's on our team, because sometimes with us doing this, it can become
Exhausting.
yes.
And you start trying to wonder, like, are they really feeling us?
Are they really feeling
Are they
us?
like us? And then it seems like when the love comes, it just pours
It
in.
does.
It's like,
Right
yeah,
when
we
you need
feeling
it.
y'all. Keep going, man. This is great. And it's like right when we were just starting to doubt ourselves, like,
Right.
and we were like, oh, we finna take a break. We can't keep doing this.
But
We
it's
wore
so
out.
And then the
beautiful to see
Williamses
where you guys
came
came
in.
from, because I remember
Yeah.
I remember when you were talking about before it actually before it
Pop-up.
existed, and it almost too was like just a hobby. I'm like, no, you guys are actually good. Y'all have a thing.
Yeah.
Like, this is a thing. Yes.
For sure.
And we
the
wanted to
universe.
become
Yes.
like a community podcast. We're getting into doing
Yes.
events,
Community events.
doing
Nice.
grand openings, events that you have, any type of activities that you have going on where we can come out and we can do it.
Let us know, for
Let
sure.
us know.
Yeah.
Hit us up and we'll try to make it out so that we can promote your business. And one other thing before we get off, there's an image that I had because one of our hosts, Shay McNuckles, she's currently hiring. She's opened up a tax office in Arlington. It's called Shay McNuckles with cashback taxes, and she's hiring right now anybody that's driven or an entrepreneur that wants to make any type of part-time money on the side. You can work your own hours and make money during the tax season. She's interested. Hit her up. She'll get you
And we'll
signed
put that
up.
on the page as well. So again, we want to thank everybody for being a part and watching us and loving us.
Thank you,
And
Marie.
thank
And
Elle
thank you,
and
guys.
Marie
Thank you
for
for having
coming.
us.
And we got some
Yes.
T-shirts for y'all.
Thank
So
y'all so
y'all are
much.
now officially family.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you all. Bye.
It feels so lovely to be here tonight. What a beautiful art. Give yourself some round of applause. You're so lovely. Everyone's so lovely. And while you're in the clapping mood, I'd like to give a big round of applause to my band.